Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Crystal Cruise Lines are still in the Bahamas, but some of their passengers have flown home, but some of their passengers actually have found another sailing and are boarding another ship. But boy, do I have a lot of questions about this. So we understand that the two ships of Crystal Cruise Lines, because Genting Cruise Line has been filed for temporary liquidation, protecting their assets, there's no money for the cruise line, Crystal Cruise Line, to go to their ports. So they are basically in Bahamas because they can't go to the United States. Aruba turned them away. They're running out of money. They don't know what's going to happen with those ships until it goes kind of through a little bit of more court battles. But Regent Seven Seas Cruise Line has said, you know what, we'll take some of your passengers on board. And currently, over 80 passengers so far have taken them up on the offer and have gone from Crystal to Regent Seven Seas. Sounds great. Here's my question. Who's paying for it? I mean, you've already paid for your Crystal Cruise. Is Crystal Cruise going to send the money for your cruise over to them? Are you out that money? Are you paying this money out of your own pocket and hoping to get reimbursed down the road? How is this working? I don't know, but there's 80 passengers have already moved over, so somehow they're working it out, whether they have the money in their account or they've gotten guarantees from Crystal Cruise Line, or Regent Seven Seas is just looking to pick up basically 80 more passengers who are world cruisers and used to luxury cruise lines as potential clients in the future. Don't know how it's working, but it's good news for some people that, you know what, I headed out on a 119-day cruise, it got canceled on day 3, and now I get to resolve it. I still get to cruise even though there's some problems with my old booking. Great news. I'm glad Regent Seven Seas has reached out to these people, and I'm glad there's been some sort of arrangement. I don't know what, but somehow it's happening. Some more good news for some cruise lines. Colombia has now eased restrictions for cruise ships. So traveling to Colombia, whether you're going for shore excursions, you're getting off the ship, they've eased restrictions completely to the point where it's actually doable now. It was some pretty stringent rules at first, and they wanted testing done 24 hours before arriving at the port, which is hard to do. They've worked it out now that now you can get off, you can explore the country, you can get off in the ports. It's not as stringent, which is great news as we hope more and more ports become this way. Speaking of canceled cruises, we were talking about Crystal Cruises. I don't know, how do I say, is this good news or bad news? It's kind of bad news but good news. So bad news is some cruise ports were canceled. The good news is they were canceled because of high winds. The ships had maneuverability problems to actually get into the port. They couldn't dock. A lot of the ships have the old propulsion systems, the old steering systems. In high winds, they're just really hard to get into some of these narrow ports. But the fact that the amount of cruise ships that actually had to cancel their cruises in the last month because of high winds in the port areas exceeds the amount of cruises that had to cancel ports because of COVID. So that's kind of good news. It's bad news, but good news. It's good news that it's a normal thing that's out there. The wind is going to happen. It's going to happen. You can't control the weather. However, COVID, people think we can control. We really can't control that neither. But here we are. It's now turned to weather is canceling more ports again than COVID, which is good because that means less and less ports are getting canceled every single week, which is fantastic news. Now, quickly, I have a good news story also about Norwegian Cruise Line, but before I get there, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. If you want to keep up to date with all things cruising, whether it be the cruise news, port restrictions, new ships coming online like the Wonder of the Seas, the Discovery Princess, more on the Wonder of the Seas in another video coming up very, very soon. Just hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything. It really does help the channel out. It helps the channel grow. It helps the cruising community grow as a whole. And boy, I would really, really appreciate it. All right. Norwegian Cruise Line has just won an LEED award for their brand new cruise port in Miami. And what that basically means is they were very environmentally friendly in the construction of this terminal, whether it be by the usage of electricity and fuel, or whether it was the materials they used. A lot of it was reused materials. They booked 90% of all work done were from local vendors and local construction workers. It was a very good deal for Miami, and it turns out it's right now rated as one of the #1 cruise ports in the world for environmental friendliness. It uses 39% less energy than the average cruise port, and this one, you gotta admit, it looks pretty sweet. It's a beautiful, beautiful design. If you've ever been near the port at night, it's pretty nice. And they have all these multicolored lights that you can set on there that, you know, they can make a rainbow out of the cruise port if they want to. They can highlight the flag. They can do a whole bunch of things whenever they want to. It's a beautiful design, and I was really glad to hear that it's also very environmentally friendly, as more and more cruise lines and ships are going to LNG fuel, and they're looking to be more and more conservative and environmental friendliness. That's good news because it takes off a lot of the controversy that cruise ships bring to some ports when people start talking about the environment. Well, if you have a clean footprint, you take that argument off the table, and it makes it so much nicer to say, hey, I'm on an environmentally friendly cruise ship. Can't wait for them all to be that way, but it takes time. They have to build the ships first, and that takes money and time. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel blogs from around the world? And oh, by the way, maybe find out when I'm cruising next, because I did say I was going to guarantee I'm going to cruise before the end of this month. Guaranteed. And I booked it, but it's a secret. So I can't tell you that. In fact, I can't even tell you the one after that. And now I just got invited to another one by my travel agency. And so many cruises coming up. I hope you'll stand by and enjoy the cruise videos along with me, as I love filming them. And I'm going to show you a lot of stuff. Wait till you see some of the stuff coming up on my next cruises. Well, so until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.